In this game, Łukasz took black, Benjamin took white. This was the craziest game since a long time. I mean, there are many crazy games in Iglo, but this was certainly one of the craziest. Push, 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 push makes sense because we already have a stone there at the top, and then probably after the next extension of black, white's plan was to just add a move at the top, and black's umbrella is a bit pointless, so it was a smart plan by white. Well played, I think. Yeah, I mean, of course, black could have protected himself from this happening, but then white gets this move. I think it's fine. Like black didn't make any mistake on this board, so even though it might look like a strange direction of play for black, it must be an even result. Strangely, it's something which we might struggle to understand, but it must be the case. We need to also see that black's group is not very thin, because even if it is encircled, black for sure can make life, even a few points. But black played Hane. And this feels like white must cut. But when white cuts, black pushes, pushes, pushes once more, and maybe has time to attack this stone. Well, maybe white can think of playing around here, but then Hane at the top of 3 stones, or maybe we should say 2 stones, because they have only 2 liberties, even though the stones are 3. This looks like a crazy fight, which is not necessarily good for white. So I think that at the end it's better to extend one more time. No, now we can play here, because now there is a net, so this we are not afraid of. So now black would play this one, and it might look risky for white, but in fact I think that white can manage this fight, because black has such thin shapes. This we don't want to play because this one creates a weak point in white's shape, but anyway, we can probably simply live by playing something like this and that. I think it should be playable for white. It should, maybe it's a better result for white, though probably an even result, though it's already a crazy fight. Anyway, it feels like we must cut, kind of, but we might be afraid of cutting. So what can we do instead? Well, okay, so we can also not cut. We can play around here. And in fact, what is the threat? That black plays this one, then we can still cut. So we might be only afraid that black plays here. But okay, this is black's privilege. Yeah, it's better for black than if black plays like this and here, because now the tiger's mouth is better than a solid connection. But still, there is nothing to worry about. So white could have played like this. But white approached black's shape, and black plays very smartly. Black tries to protect the cutting point in an active manner. This was very well played, I think. And then black will be able to go up. And it will be not interesting that white played this move, because black's group is completely safe by all the strength on the outside. So this is simply a very small area. And also, like, just look at how many points it can potentially be. It is not points, because white can jump in. So this was a small move by white. Black plays this active move, and white peeped on the cutting point. I think that's still a cut, actually. Still a cut is a good option. Because what can black do? If black plays like this, well, I think white is satisfied. And does black have a good option? This doesn't look good. Black can push, but I think that white can afford going into this variation easily. I think it's alright for white. This, though, this led to such a strange shape. As black, I think I would simply cut, push, and then play here and fight. Fight like this. The fight looks not bad for black. In the game, black pushed many times to destroy white's shape. Makes sense also. Also not bad. But now, yeah, now black is not going to get this inside there. But okay, maybe it's better than playing like this. Maybe it's better because white shape is worse. Okay, maybe yes, not a problem. But this, I would play here. The difference is that now black is more open at the top, but still is difficult fight for white. Easy fight for black, I would say. Quite an easy fight for black. Just jump. Don't push white exactly on your other weak group. Now white took so many of center stones there that soon white will be able to capture black, maybe. Don't know if it's true, but maybe yes. Maybe even you don't need to connect here. These 5 stones are quite light. You can play here. If white cuts, okay, let him cut. I mean, it's slow to cut like this. And if you don't play here, then white doesn't get that move, which helps the group at the top. So generally, the main message I have for this position is to not play so close, to play a bit further with the 2 groups. Because isn't this anyway a move which your opponent is going to make? Anyway, they are going to play this peep. And then do you really prefer to have a Hane stone and not a jump? I think a jump is better. And also a stone here would be helpful. So maybe you can even try to get it. It might be still your privilege, right? White is in danger. White needs to play here and then you fight like this. This looks not bad for black. Yeah, in the game white pushed, then Hane pushed again, and then black was afraid. And now I don't understand, how can white not play this move? This looks like a crime to not play this move. First play, then think. I don't think white is going to die. And then black is very close to dying at the top. You need to play this move. This is the shape move. Instead white peeps. But now black understands that black doesn't need to answer this peep. Here we answered, but here we don't need to answer. Yeah, very good. And then play elsewhere and just let white cut. They are light, because even if white cuts them off, still they have 4 liberties, so still white has a liberty problem. White needs to play now, otherwise white dies. White needs to run, and later there will be still a liberty problem, and black can get this and this incentive if black wants. So white's 3 stones are dead. So this was a good change by black. I think that this might have been a mistake, but then this is a mistake of white, I think, and then black answers in a very sharp manner. I mean, maybe even answering here would be good, but maybe this is better because then you can afford this Hane. Hane is important because it takes away a liberty. Okay, white played, but then, well, yeah, this is a very good exchange for black because it takes away white's liberty, creates a cutting point. White cuts, black stones, this makes sense. Black cuts. Yeah, this also looks proper, though it's not always the case that it's better than extending, because the shape has few liberties and white tries to use it. Well played by white also. Yeah, fierce way of playing by black, but I think good one. Another option might be to simply play something on the side, I think. This is also an important move, but we can push. Later the cut will be annoying for white. I don't know. Let's look at the cut which black played, the fierce cut. White is playing with fire. The shapes are not so great for white. And actually at this point, wait, black can simply make life, right? Can black make life? It's not completely alive. I mean, just locally. It's not completely alive. And if black captures, it's also not completely alive. Okay. So black pushed, cut. Yeah, but the other group is very heavy. either. But wait, now was the moment. Now is the moment. Throw in and play here. Now this is completely center. White has to answer, otherwise the cutting stones die. White cannot answer like this, I think. Well, maybe white will be able to capture our huge group. It might be the case. Though I don't believe it's the case. I don't believe this is the case. The group should manage. And if white doesn't have this counter, it would mean that white needs to play this one. Then black plays here. Then white can try this, but we can even go out. And white cannot play the ladder because I think that this is a good result for black. I'm not sure. I think it's good for black. But maybe we can try to play. No, we cannot play it now. Okay. But then maybe we have a bit more sane way of playing, do we? Actually, we can just play here now. Let's say white captures. Black needs to spend a move to live there. Although black can also capture these stones now. Very interesting. Okay, too complicated for a review. Maybe even for a game. So black played Hane. And then white was in time to play here. Of course, it would be great if white plays this one, because now we can get all of this, and this works just like charm. But in the game, white found a moment to play Atari. And this is a good question, whether it's better to play like this or what happened in the game. I think that this looks really amazing for black. Doesn't it look amazing? Yeah, I don't know. Let's count points. 10, 25, 35, 45. Let's say 50 points for white. And for black, this and this, these are center. So black has 30 points here. 45, 15, 8. Black is much stronger. I think that black, and yeah, white has this problem. I think that generally the game should be good for black, but it's a very complicated game, of course. So yeah, difficult to judge, but probably better for black. In the game it went like this. Yeah, so black got even more. Yeah, though the group in the center is thinner, but yeah, black got even more. So that's great. And this was interesting. So white plays this move, which is not needed by any means. This is center for black and this is center for white, kind of. If black plays, white also needs to answer. So white just wants to make this exchange, but then black says, there is a bit bigger thing on the board. And maybe black is right. Because this move captures white's 6 stones. They are dead or almost dead. Are they dead? If white plays here, black plays this one. Yeah, they are dead. Amazing. This was also big, but black still gets the outside. With this, black needs to be careful because there is a lot of agi of these stones, right? So we need to not play any risky moves. Oh, at the very least, white can play like this. So really difficult to build. I wonder if this is the best move to just add like this, but probably not. And also, by the way, it's very nasty that now these moves are not center. They are super big moves. They take 20 points. Well, of course, it's very important to be alive with the central group, and also this is a lot of points, this group and that group. So it's good that black got it, but not as good as it might seem. But this would suggest that the game is generally very good for black now. I think this is the case. All right. And this was an interesting moment of the game. Black pushed, and now black pushed once again. And this was greediness, greed of black. Black should have simply added a move. Add a move around here and build, or maybe better to play this Atari and here. But the thing is that there is an agi of these stones, so we need to choose moves carefully. So if we choose moves carefully, then for sure there will be no problem. Yeah, now there is no, actually, it's very easy to get into a trouble. Okay, maybe here there is no trouble, but very easy to get into a trouble. See, this is a problem when you try to build one next to a place where there is so much agi. Yeah, good cut by white. What to play? This looks like a bit thank you exchange. Maybe it's better to play here, but it all depends on that agi. It all depends on that agi. We cannot talk just. We need to talk about the agi. But certainly this move is too greedy and not needed. Maybe it's enough for black to play like this. Probably black is simply ahead in this game. Play like this, take center, and then you take this. Maybe even here, just secure points. Black should be better. But now white found a sequence and then a beautiful LewZG. Very beautiful. Cut off the stones. Black didn't realize it until now, so if black realized, then for sure black would rather play something like this. Or actually, what happens here? White cannot play this one. So it means that black can push and white cannot play here. Does it mean so? Maybe it doesn't mean it. Sorry. But anyway, for sure this is a mistake. Black simply lost more stones. Then block. Block was a very big move, though I am not sure if it is bigger than here. Probably it is, because now we are not very thin on the outside, so even if we are split, we can run. So for sure now white splits, right? No, white played here. What? That's what it needed. For sure, no. If black cuts anyhow, all these are white's center. So white is very easily alive. Oh no, this is the slowest move. How come black lost this game? And why does black play here? What? I mean, maybe a lot changed since black tried to build and white got a lot of points here, 10 points. But still, if black gets this and white loses center, black must be ahead. Let's count points. 10, 20, 30, 40, let's say 50, 60, 66. And black has, well, almost 30, 53, 7, 67. And, well, I think that black has more potential than white. Doesn't black? Also, this is a bit more because maybe this is no, it's not. Yeah, just an easy game, but also like this move is really greedy. For sure, white goes in soon. Oh, white doesn't. What? Why doesn't white go in? And black tries to take all of this. Okay. Seems black managed. Okay, not really all. I wonder how come black lost this game. Something happened here. Okay, white jumped in quite far. White jumped in quite far, and this was already close after this happened. It seems black played quite active generally. So how come black lost this game? Black lost just by half a point. 8 points, and here 4 points center. Yeah, all good. Actually, this was bigger. This was the biggest. Maybe, But how is it? All these moves are center, right? So maybe it's not the biggest. Yeah, my count must have been off. But maybe, for example, this might be a mistake. Because we don't need to save the 3 stones. We will do it later. For now, we do this, and if white tries to cut them off, then we play here. And this is actually, here we get more than white gets from capturing these 3. So white needs to play here, and then black plays here. Or actually, of course, here. Yeah. So, sorry, of course, this. So, yeah, probably this is a mistake. This is quite a mistake. White gets, I don't know, 7 points of territory and destroys black's 7 and 9 points. This might matter. But anyway, probably there were a few mistakes, but black got really kind of a low, all of the bottom side and lost. That's incredible. I thought that like this will be enough. Maybe I was off with my counting. Maybe white is so strong that white can now destroy black's territories and I don't know, maybe get something by himself. But this looks like black played very sharp. And then still it was a close game. Yeah. Okay, this happened. By the way, black played this only as an exchange, didn't continue. Okay, I see. So, black is able to capture these. That's big. There was still some agi. Okay, not much of an agi. All correct. By the way, it's funny because like, the game finishes with half a point. So if we know this, then we can find mistakes which could have won the, which lost the game everywhere. So for example, here black connected like this, and later black still needed to connect after white takes all of these liberties. So there will be another cutting point. So there is a question, can we connect in a way that we don't need? For example, this, nope, because there will be still this move after all liberties are taken. But there is another way, we can play here, and then there is no problem actually. So here, 2 birds with 1 stone, and black would win the game if only black played this move. Actually, but then white plays a not needed move. So actually no. Black simply plays white simply plays -1 point, where there were still points worth moves worth 2 points. Yeah, this is just not needed. White had some hallucination, and at the end there is a game deciding ko. This ko for the last point, and in this ko white plays such a nasty threat, and black answers in a bad way, which causes a loss of a point. So the thing is how to connect around here so that this move of white doesn't destroy our point. And well, the answer was simple. We need to connect here. Then white doesn't destroy the point. But this threat was so difficult to answer to, and yeah, black lost a point here and then still lost the ko. So if black only answered this threat correctly, then yeah, ko wouldn't be. Even if black loses a ko, black would win the game. Very tense game and very crazy from the beginning. Difficult choices all through the game, and yeah, that's it, I guess. And thank you for listening. Bye bye.